Right after finishing the reviews for both Les Paul Prophecies, it's time to go with the pointy shapes, and for the first time introducing the Flying V Prophecy. The Inspired by Gibson collection brought those two original 1958 body shapes to the Prophecy series. I'm gonna start with a cool looking Flying V, and then I'm gonna give the Extura another chance because I've actually reviewed one in black and didn't like it too much. This cool color deserves a second chance though. Now let's go with the V. If you're not familiar with the Prophecy series, Epiphone had been making these ever since 2008. They are mostly known with the modernized version of the Les Paul. They did the Futura body shape Explorer as well. The 1958 Explorer and Flying V shapes though are new for the Inspired by Gibson collection. The Flying V costs between $800 and $900 and comes in a couple of colors, the black aged gloss and the one I'm gonna show you today, the yellow tiger aged gloss. The Prophecy Flying V combines the original 1958 body shape with some modern features. The satin finish, multiply binding, figured maple veneer and the cool yellow tiger color, combined with the Fishman Fluence pickups specially made for the Prophecy series, are just a few of the modern features. The Fluence pickups are known to be extremely mid-focused and cut well in the mix. The three voicings split, vintage PAF and modern give you a lot of versatility combined with the three-way switch. There's nothing cooler than a badass V. I'm curious, which shape would you guys prefer, the Extura or the V? The V shape comes with a couple of limitations though, especially when playing sitting down. When you are holding it in the classical position sitting down, the output jack gets in the way a little bit. It does compensate for the inconvenience though with 24 comfortable jumbo frets. The Prophecy series are known for giving you 24 frets on the standard 24.75 inch scale length. What's interesting is that the new generation of Prophecies come with a 12 inch fingerboard radius, the older ones were 14 inch. Grover automatic locking tuners help with tuning stability. And check out that cool Inspired by Gibson headstock with the Epiphone logo and the custom diamond. The Prophecy series are where tradition meets modern features. The Fishman pickups are active, so you have a huge electronics compartment filled with push-pull pods and a 9-volt battery compartment separate next to it. If you're gonna be using those 24 frets, you need a good high fret access. Luckily, Epiphone thought of that and made the neck joint flush with the body. It is super comfortable to play on this asymmetrical slim taper neck. Epiphone seemed to have done a good job on this particular Flying V. I couldn't find anything wrong with it, besides the factory setup of course. The fretwork could be a little bit better, but it's nothing too serious. I'm curious which one I'm gonna enjoy more, the Flying V or the Extura. As usual, here is the made to match the body color. The Inspired by Gibson Flying V shaped headstock with the Epiphone logo and the gorgeous custom diamond, Grover automatic locking tuners, a black Graphtec Newbone Hixel nut, a set of active Fishman Fluence pickups specially made for the Prophecy series, Epiphone lock tone, locking bridge and a tailpiece, master volume that controls the split voicing, a tone pot that controls the modern and vintage PAF voicings, and a three-way switch. Measuring the pickups gives me pretty interesting readings. The bridge is at 20.6, the neck is at 20.5, but the middle position is considerably hotter than the Les Pauls that I've reviewed. The Les Pauls measure at 9.6 or something like that. Look at this, 16.90. The Flying V is wired differently than the Les Paul with only 2 pods though, so the middle position is considerably hotter. I think the Extura had the same wiring and measured the same like this in the middle position. All Prophecies feature these brushed nickel knurled metal knobs with accent on top, asymmetrical like this, pretty cool. This one is the master volume and the push-pull pod controls the split voicing. This one is the tone, the up position is the vintage PAF, the down is the default modern. The three-way switch is installed diagonally for easier switching. I know these are different body shapes, but check out the distance between the pickups on the V and the Les Paul. Props to Epiphone for keeping the distance between the pickups on the Les Paul like on 22 fret guitars. Usually this is the spacing for 24 frets. They've done it by pushing the bridge pickup closer towards the bridge on the Les Paul. You see the distance here in the V? Even so, I had some trouble doing the pinch harmonics on the Les Paul. That's why I chose Laid to Rest by Lamb of God for the intro song of this review, because it's full of pinch harmonics, and I did a little bit better with the V. Short scale guitars like the LTD Eclipse with 24 frets usually use this spacing between the pickups, but look at the Les Paul, pushed towards the bridge. Speaking of, Epiphone locked-on locking bridge, individual saddles held in place by a single spring, Epiphone logo on the bottom. It is metric as usual and it's adjusted by thumb wheels and flathead screwdriver. The tailpiece is also Epiphone locked-on, brushed nickel to complement the rest of the hardware, Epiphone logo on the bottom, locks on the struts, which are here. 1958 body shape, which has some modern touches like the satin finish, the two-piece figured maple veneer and the multiply binding on the edge of the entire guitar. The binding is featured only on the top, not on the back obviously. The binding continues alongside the neck, but I see it's a little bit different, it's wider than the body binding, which is not a huge problem, just a difference. Anyway, black side dot inlays on the binding and gorgeous ebony fingerboard for the mahogany neck with a set neck construction. 24 jumbo frets, 24.75 inch scale length, 12 inch radius, and check out those gorgeous block and triangle abalone inlays. They were produced with this yellow color to them to match the yellow tiger aged gloss top. Great job by Epiphone, I like them. This ebony fingerboard seems to be in great shape, unlike the black aged gloss Les Paul that I've reviewed. Usually they have some wood scratches or instrument marks. Black Graphtec new bone XL nut. This one fits nicely, I'm assuming it's narrower than 43mm, we'll check it out. Check out the gorgeous inspired by Gibson headstock, it has multiply binding like the body, satin finish, the Epiphone logo, which is pretty cool, the custom diamond right here, and the Grover Rotomatic locking tuners. This is what the truss rod cavity looks like, two-way adjustable truss rod covered by this gloss 2-ply Epiphone bell. I love the way that this gloss black 2-ply Epiphone bell accents the satin veneer on the headstock. Check it out, it's a contrast between the two. Yep, I called it right, the nut is at 42.8mm, if it was 43 it would have been sticking out of the fingerboard. 1.68 inch. The 12th fret is at 52.4mm or 2.06 inches. A little bit thinner than the Les Paul at 19.3mm at the first fret. Thickness of the neck at the 12th fret 22.3mm or 0.87 inch. The body thickness is 40.2mm or 1.58 inch. I'm guessing the black one is gonna be a little bit thinner because it doesn't have the flame maple veneer. Older generation Prophecies had the 14-inch radius, which was supposed to be helping shredding leads. On this generation Epiphone went with a 12-inch radius. I'm not entirely sure why Epiphone backed out of the 14-inch radius. I mean, I prefer a 12-inch. 14 is good for shredding on the higher frets. It always made sense because the Prophecies have 24 frets. I mean, people are gonna be playing lead on the high frets, but I actually prefer the 12-inch radius because it supports my index finger and my thumb better for power chords and such. The neck profile is a sort of combination between two worlds as well. It combines the rounded off C shape with the U shape, so you have more shoulder towards the low E strings and rounded off towards the high E strings. It's almost like Epiphone tried to make the Prophecy appealing to absolutely everybody, which is hard to do. It is a weird sensation at first, takes some getting used to, but once you do, you have support for your thumb on the low E strings and good access to the high E strings. The universal guitar. I think Epiphone made a mistake not routing the upper horn for oval output jack, like here on the Alexi Lyle Signature V that I've reviewed. That's the modern way of doing it. If you don't do it, the cable gets in the way when you're playing sitting down. I can't say that I'm too happy with the position of the strap buttons and the balance of the guitar when playing standing up as well. But hey, it's a matter of personal preference. Anyway, back of the neck provides a comfortable high fret access, satin finish and slim taper asymmetrical neck profile. Near the headstock we have the Inspection QC sticker and the handcrafted in China sticker. The back of the inspired by Gibson shaped headstock doesn't have much besides the serial number, which dates to September of 2021. 210915, where 15 indicates the Chinese Qingdao factory where most Epiphone electric guitars are made. A nice choice of locking tuners, the Grover Rotomatics. I already showed you one of these in my Red Tiger Epiphone Les Paul video. Before installing the strings, I'm gonna polish those frets with Fret Polish by Music Nomad. I took the opportunity to oil the fingerboard as well, because this guitar has been sitting in a box for almost a year, so I polished the frets and I'm gonna do a setup and install properly the strings on those locking tuners. I've been using the Music Nomad F1 fingerboard oil for over 5 years now. It cleans and conditions the fingerboard, and the idea is it should soak into the wood, not into the cloth that you're cleaning it with. You do that every 4 or 5 months and you're gonna be okay. Again, here's the proper way to put strings on the Grover automatic locking tuners. The tuner hole should be facing the nut, leave no slack on the string, make sure it's on the saddle, lock the tuner from the back, don't over tighten it though, and then rotate at approximately 90 degrees. Do that for all the strings and then you're gonna tune later. Don't wind the strings around the tuning heads. They're not meant to be wound like regular tuners. I did a complete setup because the V needed it. I've adjusted the string height, adjusted the pickup height according to the string height. I've adjusted the two-way truss rod and put the strings the proper way. I'm not surprised that the V is the lightest Prophecy so far that I've tried at 6.93 pounds. I think only the HG is able to beat it. Now I'm gonna show you the Les Paul. It weighs 8 pounds and something. And the heaviest of them all is the Extura at 8.70 pounds. If you've seen my other Epiphone Prophecy videos, you know that I don't like those Fishman pickups. This time I tried something else. Usually I demonstrate all of my guitars on channel 3 of the Diesel VH4. In this video I tried playing through channel 4, the lead channel, without any delay. Channel 4 is more compressed, so it gave me the sensation of more gain that I was lacking from the Fishmans. It also introduced some low mids that immediately made the Fishmans muddier and they lost some definition. Anyway, about the V, this particular example seemed to be done pretty well, besides the god-awful factory setup. I couldn't find any defects due to manufacturing, so props to Epiphone for that. I think those red tiger, yellow tiger, olive tiger, flame maple veneer finishes are getting more attention in the factory. There's always the plain black ones that are getting messed up. We'll see if that's the case when I review the yellow tiger Extura next. I had a couple of issues with the Flying V Prophecy, especially when playing sitting down. For example, I didn't like the position of the output jack. They should have went with a routing for an oval jack where the cable goes inside the body. I didn't like the position of the strap buttons as well and the balance when playing standing up. Also, the satin finish made it extra slippery when playing sitting down. If you don't mind these things, you have the coolest looking Epiphone Prophecy.